we as Jews believe that the world is in motion. All life has motion. Every atom that makes up all matter, animate, inanimate objects, all has energy inside of it. And this motion is not just circular, irrelevant motion, random motion, but there's a motion forward in time, in history. There's a motion forward in our being of the Jewish people. We're moving somewhere and we're going towards something. There's a goal that we want to go to. What's that? So as you know from the end of services, Bayom Ahu, and on that day, Shem will be one and His name will be one. We're moving towards a oneness. On a simple level, what does that mean? Our worldview, the way we picture the world being better, not just, let's all get hopefully mortgage rates won't go up by the time I'm going to buy and I'll be able to purchase something, and I'm really looking forward to that. And if we could all just get married and live in the suburbs and fall asleep watching TV, that would be great. Let the world just all join in unison as we fall asleep together watching television. We have a bigger picture for the world. Now, that picture, change, is not some evil plot of Armageddon, then we're going to kill them all and everyone's going to be dead except for us. Our view is that the world will be united. So, as you know, the most important sentence in all of Judaism is Shema Yisrael, hear Jewish people, Hashem Elokeinu, God is our God, Hashem Echad, God will be one. The concept is that now God revealed Himself to the Jewish people on Mount Sinai. But eventually, the whole world will move towards a reality in which that will be recognized by everybody, by all nations. And that will be a unity. We're moving towards a oneness. And in oneness comes peace. As you know, the word shalom comes from the word shalem, which means whole. When everyone is together as whole, then that is peace. So on a simple level, the world is moving towards echad, oneness. The concept is that we're moving towards a zone that is spiritual. We mentioned there are two dimensions. I'm talking to you now, not just 40 billion cells coordinating speech. I'm speaking to you now. There's a soul inside, and everyone has a soul that's inside. And I'm a duality of spiritual and physical. The spiritual world is not bound by time. Time is relevant to this world. That all time is specific. But above the clouds, it's all one. So as we move towards a more connected world, a more spiritual world, we're moving towards a world of oneness. You see that in a physical formation thing. 30 years ago, you would never imagine that one person could have a thought and within seconds, millions of people could be connected to that thought. It was unimaginable, that concept. And now, as you see on a physical realm, the positive forms of technological advancement shows that we're moving towards a oneness, moving towards a unity. And our belief, our worldview, is that we're moving there. Here's the particular hypothesis for tonight. My purpose has to be connected to world purpose. If I'm to know what I am, who I am, and what my purpose is as an individual, it has to fit into the overall purpose of the world. In other words, if I have a specific purpose, I feel that. Whatever that particular personal purpose is, it has to make sense with the overall world purpose. That I view the world as having a purpose, and I view myself as a microcosm of the world, and my life aligns to that. I might be different than you, and we all are different from each other, but our lives align with that ultimate purpose. So this concept that we're moving towards a oneness has to be relevant to me. Now let me take that one step further. It says that on that day, Bayom Ahu, when that comes, it'll be Hashem Echad, God will be one, Ushmo Echad, and His name will be one. The Talmud always picks up on a inconsistency. What do you mean on that day God will be one? I hear that on that day we all will be one, But why does it refer to God being one and his name one? And now we write his name one way, but we pronounce it differently. Then we'll write it and pronounce it. Who cares about pronunciation? What relevancy is that? What is this concept that on that day, God will be one? Isn't God one now? What does that mean? Ask the Talmud. So the Talmud answers are very important. Now we see good and bad. Things that are good, we make one blessing, and things that are bad, we make a different one. But on that day, it will all be good. That we will only see good in the overall perspective then, and as we look back on our lives as a whole. So the concept makes total sense and according to what we're saying in a cumulative manner. We said clearly, what's the purpose? Someone stops you on the street, only has 5 seconds. Humans of New York stops you and asks you, hey, you're Jewish, what's the purpose? You should answer them, Tov Ma'od. We're here to further good. The realm of life is Tov. And what am I? I'm here to further the Tov. I'm here to Ma'od the Tov, to vary the Tov. And I'm an Adam, Aleph, Daled, Mem. I'm a soul and a body, Aleph and Dam. And when I bring it in and make it real and I act upon it, I bring Tov to the world. I make the world a better place through my own personal development and change. And when I make myself a better place through my own personal development and change, I bring Aleph into this world by my learning and my connection and my action. I make my space better. That has a microcosmic effect on the whole world. Etch that in. When you affect your life, that affects the whole world. In a quantum sense, if you are a microcosm of the universe, what you do in your own life affects the world as a whole. So my personal goal, my human goal is ma'oding Tov. I want to take Tov that's in me, that's in the world, and I want to bring it here more. When that Tov is brought to this world, my world more, it's brought to the overall world more. And therefore my goal and the world's goal are aligned as one. What's the ultimate goal? Make the world good. What should I do? How do I do that? Bring it in. If you're connected to who you are and you're connected to this light of Tov, you make it real and you bring it into this world. That brings us. How do you create the future? By connecting to it in the now. How do you create the future? Should we vote, campaign? How do we create the future? By connecting to that future now. I want the world to click forward to all good. I'm going to be it now. I'm going to ma'od Tov. Now, when I do that, that's called the revelation of, for lack of a better terminology, God's name. Can't even say the word, G, God. The concept is when we as Jews refer to the life source, the point of origination and that which sustains us now, the energy source that spins electrons in every atom now, we refer to as Hashem. Hashem means the name. What do you mean the name? Why don't you just say the name? No, because to say a name is to say that I know this reality, I'm going to verbalize the reality, and through my verbalization of the reality, I can connect to that. But it's not fathomable. We don't have the sensory realm to connect and understand that. So we refer to that as Hashem, God. And that's why I go to Hebrew school. One of the first questions I had was, I'm trying to read Hebrew, Baruch, got it, Ata, okay. Now Adoshem, God's name. I'm sorry, what you're telling me to say and what's written here in the Siddur is not connecting. There are 2 yuds over here. What am I supposed to say? The concept is, oh no. We pronounce it one way, we write it a different way, but eventually a day will come when we'll pronounce it as well. Who cares? What does it make it different? We get to pronounce it? That's really good. God willing, you guys will raise kids. You'll be dealing with the issue of bad words. Oh, no, don't say that word. Why not? I don't know, it's just that's the way it is. That's just, for some reason, everybody agreed upon that that's a bad word. And it could rhyme with words that are fine. Absolutely, and the beginning of the word's fine, the end of the word's fine. Somehow when the beginning and the end come together, we will freak out at you if you ever say that. Oh my gosh, what are you saying? Who taught you that word? Immediately I become a private investigator. 1 second, who are you hanging out with? Let's go over the records. I'm 5. In the bizarro flip side opposite, there's a concept of saying something makes it real. And if you can't wrap your mind around a concept, then you can't say it. Saying something is taking an intellectual idea and bringing it into the world. Talking is using your mouth, tongue, teeth, larynx. You're physicalizing an idea. If you can't conceptualize an idea into the fullest extent, you cannot verbalize it. You don't have the clarity to verbalize that idea. We have 5 senses. We have intellect, but we don't have the app that enables us to fully comprehend the unifying force of everything. And therefore we write it, but we don't say it. By Yomahu, and on that day, one day will come in which we'll be able to say it, meaning we will be connected to it with a clarity. What's the goal? To be clear. Not just to intellectually, in potential to be clear, but to be clear in a real way. That I am a furtherance of good and I am connected clearly to reality. I have taken the light, put it through me, and now I am at one with reality in the clearest way. So what's that future that we're hoping for? All good, totally clear. How do I get to the future of all good, totally clear? By inching my way forward incrementally. If every day I learn, if every day I act upon what I learned, then every day I'm making the Tov more Ma'od. I'm bringing us to that reality. So how does my life in particular connect to the world's future in general? I'm a microcosm of the world. That's not egotism, that's reality. And if we all knew that, our self-esteem would start at a completely different level. If you would realize the importance of every movement that you make, your self-esteem would hit a different line. You would elevate in that area. We are a microcosm of the world. And when I'm Ma'od Tov, when I'm an Adam, then I make the world Tov. I bring the whole world to a total Tov realm. And when I take the Aleph and bring it in, I connect to that oneness, I bring clarity to the world. I help inch the world towards a time period in which we will be able to write and pronounce that name, meaning it will be clear in the world. So what? Who cares? That's everything. We want good for the whole world. How can we be so insensitive to say, well, as long as I can find the house at a good mortgage rate, I'm fine. Oh, I feel bad, people starving, but that's the way it is. No, that's not the way, that's the way it is, but that's not the way it has to be. Okay, you want to go there and feed people? No, I can't, it's not happening. But I can Ma'od Tov within my personal life that I believe has a general effect on everything. What's the secret to the Jews? Part of the psychology of Jews, we have a future tense. We think not only in the now, we think not only about remembering our past, but we have a consciousness of what's going to be in the future, and we actually believe that we can have a hand in that. Fatalism and depression comes from hopelessness. The psychology of success amongst Jewish people is not due to guilt from their mothers. Success of Jewish people is not based on, oh, high achievement, I want to have money to control world media. The motivation of the Jewish people is that we actually are connected to the whole world all the time, and its pain, and its suffering, and its darkness. And we want to affect that right now. I want the world to move to the next stage. I want to push fast forward. I want to bring the world to a better place now. How do I do it? It's within me. That the Torah teaches us that within your own structure, you have Aleph, Dam. Within your own structure, you have Ma'od. And within your own structure, you have the key to unleash wisdom through humility. And that's why Adam is the same numerical value as Ma. When you are a Ma and you take in wisdom, you are able to Ma'od the Tov. Now here's the ice cream. So ultimately, there's a world in which everything's all one, all at the same time. And we'll all be connected to that place. We believe in that. So really, our goal is to channel God, Hashem, that'll come through us so that it will be pronounced, it will be in this world. So when you look at Adam, in the ultimate sense, the letters Aleph, Dam represent what we are, soul and body. It also represents our goal, Ma'od, to take Tov and make it more. And it also represents the prerequisite. The numerical value of Adam equals the numerical value of Ma. You only grow when you open yourself up. And when you open yourself up to what's in, and you let that out and bring that to the world, then you are a conduit that reveals the reality of Hashem. And that means you flow into that it flows out of you. You become at one with that energy. That's why the Zohar says that when you take God's name and you pronounce it, so a Yud, it's pronounced Yud, Yud, Vav, Daled. Hey is Hey, Aleph. Vav is Vav, Aleph, Vav. And Hey is Hey, Aleph. When you add up the numerical value of God's name pronounced, it equals 45, which is the same numerical value of Adam, of who you are. Within you, locked in now, is the potential to pronounce God's name. My life now has a purpose. What's that end goal? I'll pronounce God's name. So the numerical value of what I am now in Adam is equal to the numerical value of the pronunciation of God's name, because the ultimate purpose of our existence is to let that light through. When each one of us chooses it through our own choice and we make it real, we become part of it. What's the goal? To be at one with it. The end. Thank you, guys.